Why no new contract? Why are people not talking to him?
I think basically you have to remember, first of all, there's been a structural change at Liverpool over the course of this summer. You've seen Jurgen Klopp depart the club, and he was obviously a huge part of the furniture there and had huge control over contracts and players in and out the front and back door. So therefore, you've just got to allow Richard Hughes, the new sporting director, Michael Edwards, who's working for FSG as a sort of director of football overseeing the whole structure, a little bit of time to just assess things. My understanding is they were always going to just make sure they focused on players coming in and giving Arne Slot the right tools to start the season. That was their number one job. Get the recruitment right done in the summer. Then they will look at the big contract situations. Mo Salah into the last year, Virgil van Dijk into the last year, Trent Alexander also the same. So that is now next on their agenda to look at. And of course, this is a big deal. Mo Salah is, one of the greatest ever players that Liverpool have had. His importance to the team, you've seen it season after season after season, and you're seeing it at the start of this campaign as well. But the big problem is, he just turned 32. He's obviously on big wages, and there is that commercial balance of how do we keep this player whilst making sure we're paying him the right amount of money, not for what he's done in the past for Liverpool, but what he can do next season, the season after and the season after. And that's where they need to come up with the right package. We understand that Mo Salah is keen about potentially staying at Liverpool and extending his contract. He's not interested yet at looking at Saudi Arabia or any other potential money-spinning move. He wants to stay at the highest level. He wants to stay at an elite level club. And of course, that would be Liverpool in the Premier League. But of course, Liverpool have a little bit of a philosophy where they're reluctant to tie down contracts to big deals on players that are well into their 30s. That's something they historically haven't really done. And obviously, that's where the conversation needs to be started.
It's almost a worry for the fans, wouldn't it, that there are it's not just him out of contract,
yeah.
Some big players out of contract, and this Liverpool side, they're the key men as well.
I'd be surprised if one of the three, if not two of the three, don't sign new Liverpool contracts over the course of the next few weeks and months. It's certainly on the agenda, but of course they have to do what's right financially. Look at the window just gone. Liverpool didn't go into the market spending on anyone. If the right player wasn't there at the right price, they didn't do it. And that will be the philosophy moving forward. And I think you just have to trust what Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards are trying to do with Liverpool under Arne Slot. Brilliant season on the pitch, which is key. Let's take a look at Mo Salah's record so far this season, because this is maybe why he's saying, come and give me a new contract. I've started the season really well. And here's the evidence. Let's take a little look at this. Now, what's important to point out, first of all, Dave, is this is only based on three games.
Small sample size.
Small sample size compared to, obviously, the matches he's played in the Premier League. But you can see the distance that Mo Salah is covering per game in the Premier League. 21-22, 9.5, 9.6, 9.8. You can see he's covering more distance in the Premier League at the moment. So he's getting older. He's into his 30s. He's losing his legs.
No, he's not.
Obviously, you can see with the sprints as well. 18.2, 17.5. But once again, 24.6.
But is this also because, contract's up, so he's got something to really play for? If some of the players' 5-year contract, maybe he doesn't need to run as far. And also a new manager who he's probably trying to impress.
Absolutely. He'll be trying to impress Arne Slot. He'll be saying to the Liverpool hierarchy, give me a new deal, I'm worth it. And he'll also be saying for those sides that potentially are thinking, well, is Mo Salah the right man for us? Because remember, from January the 1st, he can sign a pre-contract agreement with a club outside of the UK, so outside of the English Premier League. And then final pressures in the final third. You can see once again, data suggests it's up this season. Again, just a caveat, only 3 Premier League games compared to the games he's played in previous seasons. But you can see the impact he's having early on. Heavily involved for Liverpool this season. Star man once again. Let's wait and see how things develop. But I'd be surprised if some contract conversations didn't start at some stage soon, because every time he plays well, scores goals and gets that post-match interview, one of those questions is going to be, what's happening with your contract? Have the club reached out to you?
Yeah, well, that's the way to kind of bump your wages up and get a new contract, isn't it? Bang the goals in and contribute. Mark, for now, thank you very much.